What is up, everyone? Welcome to another edition of The Danny Show. I'm your host, Daniel Cody, and this is where I give commentary and reviews on all things wrestling. Before I get started, I want to thank everybody that's been viewing. Thank you guys for all the likes you've been giving over the past couple of videos. I really appreciate that. And today is special because today is the birthday of the animal, Batista. And that's the reason I look this way, because for those of you who grew up under the era of ruthless aggression, like I did, you know that Batista used to dress a bit sharp back in the day. I don't have a full suit right now, but this is how he used to dress, and especially when he was rolling in the days of Evolution, and then struck out on his own. But for now, let's do a top 10 countdown on top greatest matches, my top favorite matches of Batista. Starting at number 10, we have Batista versus the Great Khali versus his friend Rey Mysterio at Unforgiven 2007. And this match was great, and this would be Batista's. This would be Batista's third World Heavyweight Championship victory, and he would have to defeat both his friend Rey Mysterio and the Great Khali, who was champion at the time, back when he was being used as an unstoppable force before they just totally just had him just buried. As soon as he went babyface, he just went buried. Why is it that when people become good guys, they always got to get buried down? But either way, Batista would win his third World Heavyweight Championship at Unforgiven 2007 when he delivered an amazing spine buster to the Great Khali. Now think about that. The Great Khali, 7'4", and he took him and just bam, threw him down. A lot of strength it takes. At number 9, we have Batista versus Triple H at WrestleMania 35. This is the second match that Triple H and Batista would have at a WrestleMania. Even though the importance was for Triple H, it was a great match from Batista's end also. I really enjoyed it. And it was his last match because he claims he won't step back into WWE again. However, he's working on being a Hollywood movie star, which he is doing pretty well, considering that he is Drax from the Avengers Endgame and Infinity War, as well as Guardians of the Galaxy. But either way, this was his last match at WrestleMania 35, 2019, and even though it was in a losing effort, I still think it's a good pick. At number 8, we have Batista versus JBL. Excuse me. This was Batista's World Heavyweight Championship defense since being drafted over to Smackdown in 2005. And this match was also interesting because it took place at Summerslam in Washington, D.C. And as we all know, Washington, D.C. is Dave Batista's hometown. And it was an excellent match. I really enjoyed the rivalry that JBL and Batista had. And I also enjoyed this match because it was a rematch from American Bash 2005, where Batista got himself disqualified after losing his cool on JBL. But this match was no holds barred, which means JBL got two power bombs, one to the floor, next on the stairs. At number 7, we have Batista versus Edge on an episode of Raw on May 23rd, 2005. And this was a match statistically, WWE has said statistically that Batista has never defeated Edge with the World Heavyweight Championship on the line, when actuality he has. And this time, this one was, to my knowledge, one of their first early meetings back in the early Ruthless Aggression era. and they had a great match. And Batista was defending his World Heavyweight Championship, and he fought off Christian, Tyson Tomko, and Edge's Crooked Ways. Even though Edge was a Money in the Bank winner, he had a match as a contender. He tried to use the briefcase, but it got countered with a spine buster and a Batista bomb for the win. What makes this match so epic is because even though the match is a bit less than 10, somewhat 10 minutes or so, the match was epic because you see Batista fighting off Tyson Tomko, Christian, and Edge's spear during some more action going on, cricket actions, and Batista was resilient through it all to go for his spinebuster and Batista bomb, retaining the World's Heavyweight Championship. While Edge and Batista had a great rivalry together, this was one of the epic matches that Batista actually won. Moving on to number 6. Speaking of great rivalries that Batista has, this is the first of 2 matches that include the same guy, and usually I don't do that, but today I will. This, at number 6, we have Batista versus The Undertaker inside Hell in a Cell Survivor Series 2007. I really enjoyed the match. I felt like I had seen it all. We saw spine busters, we saw Batista bombing the Undertaker through a table, and for the first time in years, Batista, fun fact, was the first person in years to kick out of the Undertaker's tombstone at the time, because around that time the Undertaker's tombstone was built as a move that no one could kick out of. I mean, look at it. I mean, you're getting dropped straight on your head. You got to build that move up as hard to kick out of. But either way, Batista was one of the first to kick out of that for the first time in a long time. I believe the first person to do that would be Kane. And 9 years later, no one else has been able to do that. Triple H came back in from a tombstone in 2001, but he was never really pinned because the ref was down. But either way, Batista kicked out. We saw more from both men. It was amazing. It was brutal. And WWE won't post this match because of its high level brutality. But, and even though it was a crooked win for Batista because Edge interfered, it was still an epic match as far as my top picks for Batista is concerned. Next on this list, at number 5, we have, at the previous year, Batista versus King Booker. King Booker to take on the mighty Batista at Survivor Series 2006. One of my favorite Survivor Series. Now can you dig that, sucker? But either way, I know that was the best King Booker performance I could do. But either way, Batista and King Booker, with Booker T's angle as King of the Ring, were set to face off in a great match at Survivor Series 06. One of my favorite Survivor Series, by the way. And it was also a great match. And Batista winning that match would win his second World Heavyweight Championship. And I think that was the only time we didn't see Batista use the Batista bomb to win. But JBL made me crack up because JBL was having a fit. How dare he? Batista cheated! You cannot condone this, Michael! You can't condone it, Michael! He cheated! How dare he cheat? What kind of example do we have on Smackdown? Now, had King Booker cheated, JBL would have said, "It's if you're not cheating, you're not trying, Michael." But hey, when Batista did it, because Batista was babyface, now he wants to act all double standard and stuff like that. That just made the match in the moment more entertaining. But that's number 5 on the list. Moving on to number 4. A more surreal moment on the countdown: Batista versus Eddie Guerrero at No Mercy 2005. What makes this match so surreal is that this match would be one of Eddie's last matches before passing away in an untimely manner in early November of 2005. And Batista, it's crazy. You know how when you are around someone and then later on in life they pass away and you just look back and you say, man, I'm so glad to have had those memories, or man, I'm glad that the last memories I had with this person were good memories and not hard memories and memories of hard feeling. Stuff like that is very important. That's why you hear people say enjoy your family, be nice to your family, treat everybody right while you can, because you never know when they'll pass, and then you'll be falling in front of the casket going, why, Lord, why? But either way, this is very surreal to me because it was one of Eddie's last matches, and what an honor it must have been for Batista to be able to say, if I'm Batista, and I can't speak for him, but I believe that Batista must have felt very honored to have faced Eddie Guerrero at No Mercy 2005 and what would have been his last pay-per-view of the year, because shortly after Eddie Guerrero had passed away, and also Eddie and Batista were actually developing an amazing friendship, a true life friendship at the time. And Batista was one of the men who were very devastated, one of the many men who were devastated, one of the many people who were devastated when Eddie passed away. So I believe it was a great memory to have. And I know a lot of people remember when Batista turned heel and he made those very cold comments when he was having a brief rivalry with Rey Mysterio, and what he said. I won't get into it, but most of you know what that was. If I'm not mistaken, I do believe he said he was regretful of that promo. I'm not sure, but from what I remember, I believe in true life he has a respect for Eddie and an appreciation for everything that he has done in his time of knowing him, as we all do. Moving on, but nevertheless, it was Eddie versus Batista, and Batista won the match, retaining his World Heavyweight Championship, defeating Eddie Guerrero in Houston. And Eddie was just starting to return to babyface. But either way, great memories. Batista won, but he also won something greater: Eddie's friendship and respect. Next on this list at number 3, we have Batista versus John Cena at SummerSlam 2008. And this match really lived up to the hype. And they would have many more great matches together, but this match really lived up to the hype for so many reasons to me. This match was a dream match. You have the best of Batista. You have two of some of the best guys of the ruthless aggression era. You have both men, fun fact, won their major league championships at Wrestlemania 21 in Hollywood, California, and both men would go on to rule their respective brands. Batista being the top guy of Smackdown, John Cena being the top guy of Raw. They both ruled with an iron fist, and so we could only dream of this and play this on SmackDown versus Raw video games. And one of them was SmackDown versus Raw 2006, when they were on the cover representing their brand of SmackDown versus Raw, respectfully. But after so many years in the making, we got this at SummerSlam 2008. And it was a match to me that lived up to the hype. We saw the best moves from both men. Unfortunately, Batista countering John Cena's leg drop from the top rope into a Batista bomb unintentionally broke Cena's neck, and he had to have surgery and would come back August, September, October, 3 months later. But, however, despite the injury, the match was good to me. At number 2, we have Batista versus The Undertaker at WrestleMania 23. Good God, what a classic those two had. It was a match that was supposed to be about the Undertaker streak and Batista's World Heavyweight Championship. And even though it was in a losing effort on Batista's side, he put on one of the most amazing performances of WrestleMania history, and he gave The Undertaker one of the most competitive matches of his life. Some people were concerned due to the amazing performance, and yes, a lot of the crowd was for the Undertaker, even though both men were set to be fan favorites. Many Undertaker fans were concerned that The Undertaker was going to lose because of the competition that Batista was bringing. But The Undertaker stayed 15-0. Speaking of The Undertaker, breaking news. I cannot make any promises, but from what I heard, The Undertaker's wife, Michelle McCool, wants The Undertaker and their daughter to accompany Michelle McCool to the ring in an entrance, as Michelle has been added to the Royal Rumble. So we could very well see The Undertaker make an appearance at this year's Royal Rumble with his daughter. Not that The Undertaker's going to be in action, but to accompany in an entry Michelle McCool to the ring, because Michelle has requested this. I just found this out. But we don't know what'll happen. But either way, let's get on to the number one match of my favorite with Batista. And it was a brutal Hell in a Cell match at Vengeance 2005 against Triple H. Now, Triple H and Batista had had a rivalry ever since Triple H finally decided to strike out on his own and defeat Triple H at WrestleMania 21. He would go on to defeat Triple H, Batista, I'm speaking of, at Backlash in a rematch defending his World Heavyweight Championship. But the final score to settle it all was a Hell in a Cell match at Vengeance 2005. And first of all, Vengeance 2005 was a great pay-per-view to me also. But this match was brutal. I enjoyed it, but it was brutal. We saw barbed wire chairs, steel chains, and we almost saw a hammer, but Batista delivered his own powerbomb before Triple H could use the hammer. And Triple H went 0-3 against Batista. And it wasn't until WrestleMania 35, which I put on the list, that Triple H got his redemption. But at one time, Batista was able to proudly claim that Triple H, there is nothing this man has not done in WWE except beat me. But either way, that match was awesome. I really enjoyed the Hell in a Cell match, but WWE won't post it because it was a little bit brutal. It wasn't PG. But honestly, that's why I like the match. But either way, what do you think about this list? What was your favorite Batista match? Maybe your favorite match was a match that wasn't on this list. Let me know in the comment section what you thought about this video, as well as what was your favorite Batista match. I'm Daniel Cody, and that's all the time I have for you today, and I'll be back with another review on all things wrestling. See you later.